No offense, listeners.
And no offense, listeners. No offense to either of you on the show. It's just it's a long year of production and recording and editing and posting and all that stuff, and then 2 really rough weeks, and then sweet freedom for 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's really great. Oh god. But
honestly, I'm just bummed that it's Tuesday and Wednesday for Christmas.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the week.
Wednesday
So
Christmas
stupid.
and Wednesday New Year's Day as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so stupid.
Hello, viewers, to our last live stream of 2019.
Dude, the future is like a few weeks away.
I know. It's exciting for what's in store.
Out of curiosity, what was your future date when you were a kid?
2000.
Dude, I'm not that fucking old.
I'm not either.
I feel like Looney Tunes and stuff, when they would do future stuff, it was always like 2005, 2010, stuff like that. Like that was the far future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of. I read a lot of sci-fi fantasy, and a lot of the books that I started with were a lot of books from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So 1985 was your future date?
Right.
No, those were mostly where the 2000s came from.
Right.
That was the far off date that none of us would live to see. Surprise!
Whoops. Proved you wrong, old man.
Yeah. Now
we've only got 5 years left.
Well, I'm saying, and then there was Back to the Future, which was what, 2012?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And really, that was probably the last time I paid attention to when books took place, because now they're always like 20XX or
near
whatever.
Future.
Yeah.
Any day now.
Or Futurama, the year 3000.
Right. Challenge accepted.
2015, they went to in Back to the Future 2.
There you go.
2015, okay.
Man. Okay, are you guys ready to race through this episode?
Yes.
Click, click, click. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Couple of pieces of programming notes here at the beginning. This is our last regular episode of the year. If you're watching the video of the last live stream, hello. We are going on vacation after this week for 2 weeks, but like we do every year. Sorry, we've recorded a lot already today. This is now my 4th episode of the day, along with Moonpeer. As we do every year, we're going to have our 2 special episodes upcoming. Next week will be our top 10 of 2019. And then the week after that will be our 2020 predictions. Where we go over 2019s, we talk about 2020s, crown most correctest, all the good stuff we do. If you're a brand new listener, just stay tuned. We'll explain each one of those as they come up. And then we'll be back here on the 5th of January for the live stream and the 6th for a regular episode. But patreon.com/E1M1, the perfect holiday present for this year is a $5 a month patronage. That gets you all of our cool behind the scenes, early access stuff. If you're not yet a subscriber for We Rogue Like It, now would be the best time because you won't really get a 2-week break on that if you time it right. So, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers for all the good stuff. And while we're on break, you get a new episode of Old Dog New Flicks.
Yup.
How can you go wrong? We'll still be here for you.
Forgo naming a manatee, naming a son after your spouse,
That's
child,
right.
whatever.
Boring.
Yeah.
Don't name a
Give them
star.
something they will something they will cherish for the next 2 weeks.
That's right.
Yes. Don't save the starfish, save
No.
the show.
That's right. All right, with all of that out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so Apex Legends, the holiday season began.
The Holiday season?
Oh, I don't you start as well. My wife is bad enough.
I'm
know
sorry.
That's what it's called in the game.
I watched the trailer that happened on the Game Awards, and
such a good trailer.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So, for those of you who haven't played Apex Legends, Mirage is the wise-talking smart mouth, who, generally speaking, has some really good quips. He hates Pathfinder, the robot.
Right.
He loves everybody else. So he's hosting a holiday event. And his special, by the way, is he makes duplicates of himself in holograms and stuff like that. So the event is the Holo Days because he's hosting them and he makes holograms. It's
and very bad jokes.
Dumb. Go watch the trailer for 3 minutes of Mirage not shutting up.
And no jokes landing.
Even though they're all really good, the Elfie is particularly good. Considering what...
I liked him talking to Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards and none of the jokes landing on Jeff Keighley and Mirage getting frustrated, which was really great.
Yep. His character is so good because he literally annoys everybody. All of the other legends hate him. But he kind of, like, his quips are so good, like, he's so stupid in general. And then they come out with this holiday event, and all of the outfits are ridiculous.
They are very Christmas ridiculous.
Yes. So Mirage's is the Tin Soldier. I can't remember the pun name for his outfit for this event. It's really good. Yep, I do know what it is because I just mentioned it. It's the Wisecracker, and he's like a tin soldier.
Great.
Caustic, who is the big beefy dude who likes poison gas and stuff like that, he is dressed as Santa Claus, and his outfit is called Claus Tick.
Okay.
It's just a whole bunch of puns, and with these holiday outfits, just like the Halloween ones, they come with holiday-exclusive quips.
Oh, no. So,
Caustic, because why not? He is constantly talking about life and death and how science, like, he is
very
the most...
emo.
He's super emo and he's super edgelord at the same time.
Right.
Where, like, his normal introduction to, like, matches is like, oh, a bunch of willing test subjects. And right. Like, the classic, like, 80s villain kind of
mustache
stuff.
twirling.
His holiday theme one is, I really love the winter. Everything dies.
All right. I get behind it.
So dumb.
Yeah.
I'm so in line with all of their characters. Octane, who's the guy with the metal legs who injects himself, who I love the fact that his backstory is he was in Titanfall 2, and he's based off a character of a real-life human who, in the start of Titanfall 2, there is a challenge to do the obstacle course.
Right.
And you have to beat a certain time to get an achievement. Really hard achievement to get. This guy basically did grenade timing, kind of like you could do with the Warthog in Halo 1 and 2 and get it to do backflips into the sky. And he literally launched himself through this obstacle course in like 4 seconds flat.
Yeah.
So that's Octane now, is that actual guy Octane is based on him.
Right.
Because he doesn't have legs, he's got robot legs now because he blew his own legs off breaking that time trial.
That's
kind of
really
thing.
good. I didn't know that.
His outfit is a reindeer.
Okay.
It's called Dasher.
Oh no.
It's got googly eyes.
Apex.
Googly eyes.
Oh man.
And when he moves his head, the googly eyes spin and go to different locations.
I really like that both Destiny 2 and Apex are leaning into these holiday things. Like, I have a ghost that when it pops out, it has those googly eyes on it because it's like out of construction paper. And then when they settle down, they just point in opposite directions.
The worst thing is his are actually physics-based. And
yeah.
He's got a holiday exclusive skin where he comes bounding towards you in like the title card when you see your squad, and then stops in midair and looks like a reindeer. The googly eyes move in that too. before the holiday event even came out, he had one where he injected himself in the forehead with his speed boost thing, and then did like a heavy metal, thrash metal with his face. Like the googly eyes outfit on that, and enjoy your day.
That's so good.
They've gone so far down the rabbit hole in these things, and I adore them for them.
Yep.
The new event is really interesting. It's basically a capture the flag mode based on the train, where you have to go and capture the train, and it's first to 3 teams that wins. There's only 3 squads that load in at a time. This isn't a 20 squads thing. This is a 3 squads at a time, capture the train kind of mode. It's really fun, really enjoyable. Everybody has a loadout already, so you don't have to loot stuff. And the loadout changes every day just to make things more interesting. Really cool mode. Mirage needs to shut up so much because he is the special voice announcer for the event.
Oh no.
So he will literally go on a 10-minute diatribe at the start of every round to talk about what's going on and what the event is and so on and so forth. One of my favorite lines of his is, "Hello at all of the champions, except for that robot. I hope he's not here." Keeping with the theme that Mirage hates Pathfinder.
That's really good.
And Pathfinder loves Mirage.
Of course.
Hilarious, like, constant, like, lore building throughout these stupid events. But it's fun. It's stupid. It's great. The outfits range from incredible, like the stupid reindeer one, all the way through to the dumb, like Cryptic has a green, like, an ugly Christmas sweater outfit, essentially, for him. It's really solid event. I'm enjoying playing it. Guess what? I'm still playing Apex Legends. Shock, shock, horror, horror.
Ta-da.
Yes. Dead by Friday. Quick shout out for this. Played a little bit of it on Friday. Their Christmas event is also going on. For the 2nd year running, they have an Ugly Sweaters event.
Great.
And it's different characters who have the Ugly Sweaters than last year. So it's a whole bunch of new Ugly Sweaters for everybody to collect.
That's fun.
I love and hate games as a service. So much. Because, I mean, just whatever. But yes, Dead by Friday. It was fun. We had a laugh. I realized that my achievement aim for games is to beat the 1,000 base game score for the game. I have 104 achievements in Dead by Daylight now. I have 7 left in the base game.
Oh no, you're so close.
Unfortunately, part of that is the nurse, and the nurse is the hardest killer in that game to play. She teleports, and you have to be really good at guessing the distance on your hold of the teleport.
Gotcha.
Because when she comes out of the teleport, to make it weaker, she coughs, the screen goes black, and she looks down.
Oh, okay.
So she's a really interesting person to play, and real difficult too. So fun bits to be had with her.
So 2020's goal, get good at the nurse.
Honestly, yes. Like, I looked at my achievements and I was like, I'm not that far away. I'm not that far away from getting base 1000 in Dead by Daylight. It's doable.
Yeah.
I might have to just, like, get my head into the game and just nurse the hell out of it and get those things just done.
I believe in you.
I don't believe in me. We'll see. And the final game I've been playing this week, because it's the only game other than my other 2 that I play, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes.
Thank you, Jimbo. Was it Jimbo? Yes. Maybe.
Yes.
Thank you, Jimbo Jangles, for giving me the gift of a chore. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jimbo gifted this to me last week. Perfectly timed so that I had exactly 1 week to start and finish the game before Game of the Year recordings happened.
Right.
So I started and I finished Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow.
Moon, the Destroyer of Games, returns.
That's right.
Okay, let's get this out of the way first. Apparently it got spoiled. I haven't seen the Game Awards stuff, so whatever. Don't look at any commercials for this game.
Yeah, don't watch any of the new trailers.
If you see lightsabers in a trailer, turn it off.
Right.
Go into the new movie blind. I don't care.
It could be Fortnite or it could be Jedi Fallen Order. Don't take the risk.
Yes, don't. Turn it off right now. Because if you go into this game blind, like I did, it has potentially one of the best moments in video games from recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be doing a disservice to yourself to have that spoiled.
I got it spoiled, and it sounds super cool.
It's an incredible moment in video games. Myself and Nimp, where we were doing some pre-show talking, and we literally just geeked out for like 10 minutes flat about how great this moment is.
Yeah.
The reasons why you don't see it coming, and then the effect it has on it. It's incredible. Go play Jedi Fallen Order. It's a genuinely good game.
Right,
Go ahead.
Well, I'll say that this was the main game that I've been playing all week as well, and I had just beaten it. I had watched one thing from the award show, and the very first thing that came up was a promotional video for Fallen Order, which completely spoils the big moment that Moon was talking about. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had just beaten the game the day before, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Great game, though.
There are things I like about the game. There are things I don't like. I feel like it's too slow to start. It's got a really good ending. Like, it's got that thing that movies have where, like, you can go into a completely average movie, and if the last 10 minutes of the movie are incredible, you walk out of that movie and say it's the best movie ever made.
Right.
Like, it's the Two Towers compared to the Return of the King movies. Two Towers is incredible. Return of the King has got 9 endings and is terrible. Well, it's got really, really, really good ending. Gears 5, looking at you.
Cough, cough, cough.
Uh-huh. Really, really, really love the back half of that game. I really struggled with the first half. And it's been said here, it's been said elsewhere, that sliding can go to hell.
Yeah.
I finally saw a video of that on Twitter, and I was like, oh, this does not look good.
Dude, the controls for the sliding suck. The camera sucks. There are parts of the ridges that you are on that aren't programmed correctly, so you just fall through them even though you're still on the slide.
It's just one of those things, like, I was watching it and I was like, why is this in this game? Like, this, it looks like something from like a PS2 game where it's like, we need like one more thing in this game. We could do some sliding stuff? Sure.
I was going to say, every planet has probably 2 slides at least.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Except for the Ice Planet, which has got like 9.
Oh,
yeah. God. And some of them are longer than others. Some of them are really short. The checkpoint system, that's what I was talking about earlier. If you fall off, the checkpoint or the respawn is pretty much instantaneous.
Okay.
So that's not that big of a deal. But the problem is that you're probably going to die 2 or 3 more times until you figure out where you keep falling off of. Because it's not even so much a timing thing. Because like I said, you can time it just right. But there were a couple of slides where I was at the end. I should have been jumping off at this point. But, oh, guess what? We didn't code that portion right. So you're falling through it.
Right.
Even though I've got plenty of ledge left. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even to mention that. Like, the straight slides aren't too bad. It's here is a 90-degree right turn while you're trying to slide. It's just like, how?
Oh, and here's a rope that you need to force grab while you're in the air.
Boy.
Yeah.
Like, how did the people who made Titanfall 2, probably one of the best games with wall sliding in it,
right? Where'd you guys go?
It's like, were you guys just busy doing Apex while these guys were doing these slide sections? Right. Because I could understand, but fix that stuff, please.
Yeah. That's
yes. I played this all the way through, start to finish, second to hardest difficulty, which is called
Jedi Master.
Thank you. Really challenging, really fun. We've had some issues with difficulty spikes in other games this year. This game is no exception. It goes from hard to impossible real quick, then back to hard, then straight back up to impossible again.
Like every time you run into a boss.
Well, it's not even really the bosses though. Sometimes it's just because every enemy you have a different tactic for each enemy type in this game. The problem is when you have more than one enemy type, and you get really cool thing that I love about this game is that your combat is always evolving. You're getting more powers, you're getting different abilities, different skills that you can use, different ways that you can fight things. So there's different things you're constantly trying and playing with, but the problem becomes when you've got, like, right after you get the very last lightsaber thing that you can do, which is really awesome. They throw, like, right off the bat, wave upon wave of enemies at you, and they're pretty much the same, but you're messing with group numbers, which the game doesn't handle very well. You finally get through that, and then the next section is just a mix of enemies where you've got...
Here's 4 club dudes, and then 4 people shooting at you at the same time.
Yep, and then you've got rocket troopers, then you've got the... oh crap, what are the black stormtroopers called?
Purge troopers.
Purge troopers, which are hard by themselves, but
can't
then you've got
be force powered because they resist it.
And if you force pull them, they will resist you, and then they will give up, but they will lunge at you and basically use their momentum against you and stab you, which is kind of really cool watching them do it. It sucks being on the receiving end of it. But yeah, then you'll have a purge trooper who's really fast, who has the 2 security droids with him. I mean, so the game... Yeah, that's not even a boss. That's just things you find in the level as you're checking it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Oh, yeah. There is a lot. I like this game a lot. Like, I genuinely do like this game a lot. I struggled with sections of it because it feels, like I said, it's got a very slow start. Give it the time, and it will start to pick up. And it's genuinely fun to play. I do love the combat. I love the fact that you have the option of doing 1 or 2 blades and the different situations and combat encounters that they're best for. Right now, I'm just going back and doing cleanup. Like, I literally beat the game, dump me back into the open world. I'm going to go and get all the 100% maps and all the other kind of stuff and just enjoy fooling around for a little bit and going for the dumb achievements, which are my favorite kinds of achievements. The ones where it's like, try this out, for example.
cut off the tongue of the frog.
Has Cal got your tongue? Is one of my favorite achievements in a long time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is great, and I really love stuff like that. And the lore building and the time period it's based in. It's very much. It's not movie related, so it's very much a dark period. Unless you're reading everything related to Star Wars, it's a dark period that you don't know a whole lot about.
Right.
So it's good to go in and get that extra story, similar to KOTOR. Like, KOTOR is an incredible game because it's way before the movies.
Right.
So there is a whole bunch there that you get to learn about that actually travels forwards into the movies. It's great. It's a great game. Give it a shot. Full props to Respawn for somehow putting out 2 incredible games this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I played. I accepted the challenge of Jimbo, and I beat the challenge of Jimbo. You're got welcome. It in.
Yeah. All right, Nimp, how about you this week?
So yeah, Jedi Fallen Order was obviously one of them. I had to make a mad dash through it this week because I did not have a whole lot of time, and I was refusing to turn down the difficulty no matter how much the game was kicking in my teeth.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's done out of the way. Really loved the game. Next game that I played was Rocket League with my son. I'm finding that since I've gotten the platinum for this game, that my patience for this game is a lot shorter.
Now that you're finally free.
Yeah, the things that I'm willing to deal with, I am not willing to deal with as much anymore. I think my son and I played 5 matches of different types before I was like, all right, I'm done, man. We have to play something else. So I got good at flying, though. I can hit the ball in the air now while flying.
There you go.
So I got that going for me.
Progress.
Yeah. Next game I played, Metroid Samus Returns. I got stuck in this game in a really dumb way.
A Metroid game.
Yeah. So there's an area that I went into that I couldn't figure out how to get out of it, and I could see that I had different power-ups that I could get in the areas around me, but I couldn't get into those areas.
Right.
And it turns out my issue was that one of the doors has a red shield on it, and you're supposed to shoot it with a missile. I had done that, but the problem is that there is also this flamethrower thing in front of the door, and if that flamethrower hits your missile before it hits the door, it deflects it.
Ah, okay.
So it looks like it deflects off the door, like it didn't do anything to the shield.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened to me, and I'm like, well, crap, okay, so that's not going to work. So then I spent probably the next hour looking in this pretty small area
Right.
for like a hidden path or something, and I finally gave up and watched a video on what I'm supposed to be doing in Area 2. Got up to the area that I'm at, and it shows the guy shooting it with a rocket, or with a missile. Like, I freaking did that, and it didn't do anything.
Right.
Like, whatever, I go back, give it a try again, shoot it, and goes right through, and the door opens. Son of a...
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm getting through there. I think the game says I'm 16% complete, but I have most of the power-ups and everything. I think I'm only missing 3 more power-ups.
Okay.
The Metroidvania percentages.
Yeah, this... I don't know, man. I don't know how many areas there are in this. From what I have heard, it opens up a lot, and there's, I think, 9 areas altogether, and I think I just made it to area 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
So, and I have 27 Metroids left to find out of the 48 or some odd that you start off needing to find. So, I'll keep chugging away at that. I mean, I really like the game. It's just forgetting what some things, because that's the other thing too. It doesn't tell you, hey, missiles will open red shielded doors. It's
Right.
just expecting you to remember it. So if you forget, you're SOL.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I did get. One of the things that I got was the wave beam,
Yeah.
which I didn't know in previous games that it would let you shoot through things, and it's an upgrade to your regular beam.
Oh, okay.
So you can shoot through solid walls and stuff, shooting enemies, no problem now.
Awesome.
Which is very helpful.
Yeah.
So, after that, the next game that I played a little bit of was Atelier Sophie on Steam. I found out that apparently a flying, talking book that just all of a sudden showed up has a human soul in it. Now I'm trying to figure out how to open or awaken or whatever the soul.
What is this, Ni no Kuni?
I was going to say,
Maybe.
definitely a Japanese game by any chance.
Yeah. JRPG, maybe? Mayhaps?
So, I got real heavy into the crafting, which is great because that's kind of what I was hoping for with this game.
Yeah.
Because that's what this game is based off of. You are in this tiny little town that has, when you start out, a cafe, and that's it, and a church.
Okay. Please don't tell me you get to build the town.
No,
You don't.
Oh, thank God.
So
I'm free. That's so close.
you have events that start happening, and during your days off and whatnot, you can go into the town and talk to people, and then things start happening. Well, I have like 9 shops now.
Okay.
That people have started opening just because I've been talking with them. So now I have like a bakery, a blacksmith, an armor, so on and so forth.
Maker.
Yeah, exactly. I have this this youngish looking woman who is a storefront. She is also an alchemist, but her ability, she can't make things. She can only duplicate things.
Okay.
And for some reason, if she does a lot of duplicating, she starts to lose mass, so she gets shorter and smaller.
Okay.
So when you start off seeing her, she looks like she's probably about 16, probably about average height, 5'8", whatever. Couple hours later, I see her, and she looks the same height, but all of a sudden she has on like these 12-inch like clomping heels. And she's the same height, and she tells you that she was really busy duplicating something for someone, and she's like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get back from this. And you start talking to her.
RPGs.
You start talking to her, and she says that she has a regimen to help fix it, and what she's gonna do is she's gonna start drinking milk and hanging upside down from really high places with weights to try to stretch her back out.
Oh my God. I love how stupid JRPGs can get.
It is. It's just it's dumb fun. I love it.
Man.
So I also have a 4th character now that I can take into battle with me, which makes battle a lot easier now. To the point, which kind of sucks for me, is I started going through the books, and there's certain conditions that you need to meet to be able to unlock things that you can make in the book. And one of them right now that I'm trying to work on is making a coin of some sort And to be able to do this, Sophie has to be knocked out in battle.
Okay.
The problem is that I've been goofing around with gathering and fighting monsters to get stuff to gather, that my characters are too high of a level for them to knock her out.
Okay.
Can you attack yourselves?
I honestly didn't try that, but I don't think you can.
Yeah. A lot of JRPGs won't let you do that anymore.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a shot. I honestly didn't even think about it because, like Boston was saying, it's at this point now where you can't, even if you want to.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a bunch of different things, trying to meet conditions so that I can fill out the recipes in my book and continue on. And I'm kind of hoping this game lets me build my own store, because I have all this crap that I can turn around and sell if I want to, but there's not really, since I don't have a deadline to do anything, I don't really feel the need to have to really do anything, which is kind of weird.
Sure.
So I'm kind of hoping they give me like a store or something that I can throw my crap in.
And like sell it to people and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe that'll happen. I'm not too far into the game, really, but I'm really loving it. I upgraded my cauldron so it's a bigger cauldron. So instead of a 4x4 tactile square that I'm using to make parts, I have a 5x5.
Yeah.
Because when you throw stuff together, you're basically doing a Tetris thing where an item that you pick may only take up 2 squares, it may take up 3 squares, or it may take up 3 squares and it'll have a random square in the middle for the 4th that sticks out. So you have to kind of
it's like
piece
Resident
them
Evil
together.
backpack management.
Yes. And you can, there's this whole other thing where if you line them up just right, you can have, certain element stats boost up, so then you can do different traits for different items and so on and so forth. I
want to buy this game, and everything you say about it makes me want to buy it.
I know, because there's also they just did a tutorial where you can do, I'm doing like level 1 tier right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can do level 2 tier where you can lay something on top of that grid and cancel out certain items to get different effects.
My God.
So I just made a sweet treat that is now a salty treat because I aligned everything just right to neglect the sweetness and made it extra salty. And yeah.
I want this game.
Keep me away from me, Satan.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm only like maybe 10 hours into this game right now.
That's even dangerous. Worse.
Yeah.
I know. But God, I love this game. So that's the last game I played. What have you been up to?
I have 2 real quick updates. I wasn't expecting to talk about this because I thought it was going to be really lame. The Fortnite Star Wars event happened, and the big thing was like, sign in, you'll get to see an exclusive scene from the new movie at Risky Reels, which is like the drive-in movie theater in game. And I thought you'd like land there and everyone would see like a commercial, like a 30-second clip. What I didn't realize would happen is, like, as soon as the event started, the Millennium Falcon was, like, flying around fighting TIE fighters while other ships were in the air, and it was, like, dog fighting around you. It was so cool. Like, it was incredibly cool. And then, like, Jeff Keighley is interviewing J.J. Abrams, and it wasn't great. But, like, I'm not the target market for that. And then they showed a clip which was fine. It was maybe 45 seconds long. Like it was about as much as I thought it was going to be. And then this giant box opens up in the middle and everybody has lightsabers and everybody's going ham on each other. It was all together like maybe a half an hour. It was pretty fun, I do have to say. And then they gave everybody like a free thing. You fly into the map on gliders. They gave everyone like a TIE fighter that you fly in on. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So all in all, it was pretty good. Unfortunately, the game Fortnite went down about 10 minutes before it was about to start.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. So a lot of people didn't get in. I guess I was pretty lucky to get in. And now there's like a whole Star Wars event for the next week where you just randomly pick up lightsabers in the map and both attack and deflect shots with them. And they're really fun. So
Are they super overpowered like the Infinity Gauntlet was?
they feel pretty strong, but the range isn't super crazy on them. So like you have to get up on someone. Like I turned a corner and I surprised someone, and then phew, 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 and then they were down, and that felt pretty good. So, but
Now imagine that, but in Fallen Order.
imagine that with sliding.
Yes.
I pulled out my. I've been trying to figure out how to play more PC games in my living room. That's been my challenge throughout 2019. And I talked about it on the show before, that program Moonlight, which allows you to hook into the NVIDIA Shield streaming that you have natively if you have an NVIDIA card, and sort of send that off to another machine. Works really great. I could never get it to work on a Raspberry Pi that was connected to my TV, so I sort of gave it up a couple months ago. And I'm sure you guys saw that Valve was like clearing out stock on the Steam controllers for $5.
$5.
Yeah, I bought one and it came in the other day. I was like, cool, I own this dubious piece of history. I don't know if I'll ever use it. Wait, I do have a Steam Link. I should plug in my Steam Link again and see if it works better, because I've like upgraded my network since then.
Mm-hmm.
So I plugged it in, and by accident, I found out that someone made a version of Moonlight for the Steam Link. I was like, okay, I'm not sure I was expecting that, because I was trying to play the load times and the performance. There's a new season out for Destiny 2. The load times and performance on the console versions are rough right now. I figured, well, what if I could play largely with the Hannah on PC on my couch? That'd be great. I'll use Steam Link because Destiny 2 is on Steam now. Whatever happens, you can't use a controller in Destiny 2 in big picture over Steam Link, which for me defeats the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can in Moonlight. So the crazy thing is, basically you unplug your Steam Link, you put the Moonlight files on a flash drive, you just like make sure the folder structure is correct, you plug it into your Steam Link, you turn it on, and then there's the icon for your computer, and then right next to it is Moonlight. You click on that, and it just opens the Moonlight interface, and it works really well. For me, better controller support, way better frame rate at way better stability for every game I've tried out. Forza Horizon 4, which isn't on Steam.
Question. Yes. I was just about to say, did you try any Game Pass games with this?
So yes, Forza Horizon 4 worked really well. That's the only controller-supported game I have for Game Pass installed on my machine right now, because I don't have Gears 5 installed anymore. But I'm sure that would work too. As long as you can point the as long as you can point the NVIDIA interface at a game's exe, then or if it can the GeForce Experience can automatically discover it, Moonlight will be able to pick it up and play it.
Okay, I might have to check this out, and you might have to link that to me, because I want to play Game Pass games from my PC. I want to play them on my TV downstairs.
Right.
There are a couple of games on there that are controller better. I want to play them with controller, which Steam Link does not do a fantastic job of letting you use controller on non-Steam-based games.
So if anyone wants to try this, I will help you go through it, Moon. If anyone wants to try it, Moonlight, I think it's like Moonlight dash... Just Google Moonlight streaming and you'll get to the site. Go to the downloads page and it'll link to their GitHub page. They have a whole bunch of versions like Windows, OS X, Linux, Vita, like a bunch of homebrew stuff. I think they have a Switch version. That's all homebrew stuff. They have a link for Steam Link under there. Download that, extract that onto a flash drive, follow the instructions. It's pretty cool. But I will definitely help you, Moon.
I went down the Vita rabbit hole far enough to just before downloading it onto my Vita.
Right. Yeah, it can be, if you're separated, my biggest recommendation is have 2 people available because someone will need to type numbers into your computer upstairs that
Oh,
you're going
I
to have
could
to
do with the exercise.
Yeah, well, you don't get that much time, so to use 2 people. But there's a new season of Destiny 2 out. I'm not going to talk too much about it right now because like it just kind of came out, and it's a very small start that's going to keep growing over the next couple of weeks. And we've been recording for a really long time today, and I'm really tired, so I don't want to get into it. But I've been playing a lot of the PC version of Destiny 2, 1080p 60. I don't even have my Steam Link wired right now. It's just wireless. And I have maybe one small hitch every hour.
Jeez.
And it works really well. It works with the PS4 controller, but doesn't do the right button mapping. Unlike when I'm playing it here when my PS4 controller is plugged in. So I've just been using an Xbox controller hardwired into my Steam Link, and it works perfectly. And it worked really well. So I'm hoping I can find more stuff that I can experiment with, like Gears 5, like Forza Horizon 4, where it's like moving out of the Steam ecosystem, which is part of what I've been interested in, into these games live on my machine that have controller support. Moonlight can deal with them because they're not on Steam. And they can deal with Steam games, which is great.
Like Minute, like Downwell, like Ape Out, a whole bunch of games that have controller support that I can't play on controller through my Steam Link.
Exactly. So go check. I'm going to plug Moonlight again because it's really great. And Destiny 2, there's a new season. It's a lot of inside baseball now. There's a lot of stuff happening in like January and February that sounds really interesting. There's obviously stuff happening this month, but the stuff they've put in the game is going to expand in a way that I feel like it's all a little bit confusing right now because it's only been out for a couple of days, and I think after a couple of weeks, I think I'll have a really good handle on it so I can sort of explain it on the show. But so far, it seems really good. New activity, the Sundial, very fun. Much better than last season's stuff. But that's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break. My back. Ha-cha-cha.
Is that shoulders, back, or butt?
All of them. The back half of me. Okay. I am ready to wrap this up whenever you guys are.
Yep.
Give me 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes, actually.
Get all that stuff out of you.
Let me get the badness out.
Yeah. If only we hadn't had the technical difficulties we always have on the show. For anyone listening at home, some years we can get away with like recording the episode on a Saturday and then doing this normally on a Sunday so our schedules don't get messed up. But like between the 3 of us, like each of us had something to do on a Saturday that would have been available. So it's like, oh, okay, that didn't work out this year.
Nope.
Sometimes,
it doesn't work. It also comes down to the timing of the month these days.
Yeah.
It's like if we had a long December like we did, September, October, and November.
The other 11
we had
months
like
this year.
6 weeks
That's right.
in the month, it would have been fine. But
we would have had like another month to do our top 10.
Uh-huh.
How many games could we have fit in there? Well, probably one more, but...
Hey, I can do a game a week. Thank you
That's
very
right.
much. Just wait until this winter season starts.
Oh man, you're going to come back from the break being like, these are 15 games I knocked out. Game Pass what?
My Twitter feed is just going to be a case of Moonpeer completed this game. Right. Moonpeer completed this game because it's wrap-up time, bitches.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm going to talk to you about how I made recipes in Atelier. And
That's right. Delivered stuff in space. I got an email the other day from Warframe, and I was like, no, they found me. No, I need to go dark.
Something from them too. I don't remember what it was about, but it was like, log in to do this or whatever. And
they launched their new patch, which is like, hey, now you can do naval combat in space. And I was like, no, no, Satan,
that's what it was. Yeah,
get back.
Point your emails over towards John Newsom, please. Thank you very much.
I don't know if I want him to get back into it. Like,
Well, you don't want to hear about it on the next 76 episodes?
no, I mean, I'd love to hear what his thoughts are. I just don't feel like... I feel like getting someone addicted to a games as a service game now is a punishment. Say goodbye to the next 5 years of their life.
Let me tell you all about Fortnite, Boston.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I will say, if there's one game that's earned their reputation, it's Warframe.
Oh,
they,
yeah, like...
Yeah.
They have stuck
guys,
with that game through thick and thin, and, like, just... The amount of stuff they have put in that game is incredible.
Yeah. Have you guys, did you guys see the GameSpot documentary about it? Like, they did a short documentary series
No,
about
I wanted
it?
to.
Real fucking good.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
I can't remember what that's called, but it's about trying to ride the line between pleasing your fans and doing what you want.
Yeah. Like knowing what's best for the game versus knowing what your fans want.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Destiny can lose 100,000 players and it'll be fine. If Warframe loses 100,000 players, that's probably a problem.
Yeah. Boy, Bungie is finally starting to ride that line pretty well. They nerfed one of the most popular... It was the gun in the secondary slot right now, the Recluse. They nerfed it at the beginning of the season. And I'll be damned if they didn't do a nerf that finally made sense. Like, it was one of those nerfs was like, great, the gun is still really good. It's just not crazy overpowered unless you're really good.
Okay.
Like, you now have to have a little bit of skill with it, and you can make it good.
Just reminds me of that shotgun in Call of Duty that was killing people from across the map.
Very much that, where it's like, you don't even have to just pray and spray and stuff's gonna die.
Okay, ready when you guys are.
Yep.
I'm ready. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about releases for the week of December 16th, 2019. Kind of the last week that games are coming out this year. Periodic Deliveries comes out on PC. This caught my eye. I watched the trailer. They call it a methodical space transportation simulator.
No, move on. Stop talking about it. We don't need another space transportation
It's
sim.
2D.
Go away.
Don't worry. It's more like a puzzle game.
That's even worse.
Where you're drawing sort of trade routes between planets. Looks like a small team. Looks like a kind of cool game. It's called Periodic Deliveries. Check out.
So you mean I won't need these 2 apps from Elite about how to route and set up my shipping routes?
Probably don't need a HOTAS. Yeah, like
I may or may not have a folder dedicated to Elite Dangerous on my phone.
Yeah.
People think I'm joking. I have.
There you go. Untitled Goose Game comes out on PS4 and Xbox One. That is Game Pass Day 1.
Honk.
So, honk. So good. I am very, very excited to try that and have my wife and my kid and I play it together because I think my kid will really...
She's going to love it.
She's going to love honking. And it will, I'll be opening Pandora's box and it will be terrible, but it will be very cute.
I can't wait till... you know what? Maybe I should buy your daughter a harmonica for Christmas.
How dare you?
Because then I can buy her a harmonica and then you can play that game, and when you accidentally honk with the harmonica in your mouth and she sees it, inspiration strikes, and she's going to run around with a harmonica just going honk into this harmonica.
I have so many toys already of hers that people have bought that weren't on the approved not annoying toys list that I don't
So harmonica is perfectly fine. Okay.
Oh, Christ. And lastly, Wattam comes out on PS4. This is the Katamari guy's new game. Like Katamari, I don't understand it. It will probably be really great. From the outside, I have no idea. All right, let's get into news stories here. Big news story this week, the 5-hour-long, almost, Game Awards 2019. Watched a lot of that live, and that is still a very lengthy show. We're going to talk about the highlights here. They opened with a new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that focused on Cloud. Boy, does that soundtrack sound really good. I think this is the most music we've gotten in a trailer so far, and the new versions sound really great. Very faithful, but modernized.
Is it similar to the One Winged Angel remix from the first Kingdom Hearts, where you're just like, this was a great piece of music and now it's an incredible piece of music?
It feels like they've taken... It feels more like the Final Fantasy XII soundtrack, where it's like you have taken these songs and you have orchestrated them, and that's it. Like, that's all you needed to do because the soundtrack was great already. Like, just, here's a live orchestra doing it. Go nuts.
It's like they went from half to full.
Right, right. Yeah. Obviously, the biggest news story here is Microsoft announces the Xbox Series X. Coming holiday 2020. They talked about the big buzzwords here: real-time ray tracing, third-gen Ryzen CPU, and Navi GPU. They show off a trailer for the Series X exclusive Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which was a pretty intense trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
Pretty good, pretty intense. Looks like another one of those, which is pretty exciting. I think a lot of that was in Engine 2, which, wow, looks pretty great. They put out a press release that I just want to talk about. They put out a bunch of buzzwords with no definition and just said, like, we have variable refresh rate, 8K capability, hardware accelerated ray tracing, and a new thing they called dynamic latency DLI input, DLI. No one knows what that is. So Microsoft gonna Microsoft with press.
But dude, they also used vapor cooling technology on the X.
Yeah, but it worked really well.
Who thought the vapor chamber in the year of our Lord 2019, 2018, talking about vaping would be the hot newness for video game consoles?
So they didn't detail a lot of specifics during the show, but they have done a bunch of interviews and like hands-on stuff with other publications. So we have a bunch of other info here. I'm sure everybody has seen the picture of the console standing up with the controller, the new controller there. The console can be laid on its side, and that is okay. The only thing they're saying is that concave thing on the top with the light is the fan, so don't block that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the new controller is a smidge smaller than the current Xbox controller. It sounds like nothing, not like 25% smaller, because please, God, don't.
Yes. As someone with man hands, please definitely don't.
It features a new D-pad inspired by the Elite series controller's D-pad, and thank you, Baby Yoda, it features a share button, which is like the one thing I wanted the new controller to have.
Yep.
The new console is one controller wide. You see it standing up. One controller wide and around 3 controllers high. So
I was hoping you were going to finish that controller conversion because
because
like funny.
When they show the picture, it's sort of like, here's a controller and here's a 15-foot monolith. Put it in your entertainment center. It's like, oh, so it's not really that big. It just that picture is not good.
I think the thing with it is as well is it's like the vertical picture of it. It's wider than people are expecting.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing that throws it off, and that's what makes it look so huge. Is its width on that standing up?
Right.
It makes it look huge. Who cares? It's a box you stick in your entertainment center.
It can lay down, so like it's just gonna fit in your entertainment center.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make a console that.
Else.
Yeah, they're not gonna make a console that doesn't fit in there. Like most entertainment centers are pretty standard. If you still want to stand it upright, you can totally do that. You can do that with a PS2, whatever, and a PS4. Like, who cares? The Xbox Series X features thousands of your favorite games across 4 generations of gaming, and includes all of your Xbox One gaming accessories. So we're sort of getting 2 pieces of confirmation here, and we'll have an addendum on Xbox One games here in the next point. But they're extending backwards compatibility from the original Xbox all the way through to the Series X. And any accessory that worked on your Xbox One will just work on your Series X.
Good.
Both of those are incredible. Thank you so much. They're also saying, quote, "We're also investing in consumer-friendly pathways to game ownership across generations. Beginning with Halo Infinite next year, first-party games at minimum will," quote, "support cross-generational entitlements, and your achievements and game saves are shared across devices." So if you're not used
That
to
sounds
the word,
like a buy it once.
yeah, so if you're not used to the word entitlements, that's basically if you buy it once, you can play it on your Xbox One or your Series X. So you purchase it once, and then you can just download it on either one of those. Basically, they're saying, hey man, for a lot of first party games, if you bought it on your X, you're probably going to bring it over to your Series X.
Good.
So all of that sounds really good.
Question.
Yes.
Which publisher is the one who says, no, that will be $20, please?
EA.
Activision or EA?
Both. Activision charges more than $20. EA charges $20 max.
And then here is the other question. I'm assuming it says backwards compatible.
Yes.
I'm assuming if I want to play Apex Legends, I don't need the Series X version to play my Xbox One version.
I would assume, right.
If they stop you from doing that, get ready for the riots.
Yeah, and I'm assuming for a lot of these, at least currently running, very popular, especially the free-to-play games like this, I'm assuming, maybe not immediately, but fairly shortly, we'll get like a Series X enhanced version where it's like you'll have faster load times and, you know, new controller support for whatever fancy bits and bobs are in the new controller and stuff like that. But it certainly sounds like from day one, the stuff you have on Game Pass you can play on. The thing that I'm interested in is when I buy this console and I plug it in, can I just fire up the Game Pass tab and download a bunch of stuff like Forza Horizon 4 and see it in 4K HDR for the first time? Because that would be very nice. And that for me would be a showpiece for my brand new console, a 3-year-old game.
biggest question for me.
Yeah.
Can I unplug my 4 terabyte hard drive?
Right.
Plug it into this one and have it just go.
Maybe if you didn't have so many games installed. I mean, at the very least, you can carry your saves. So you can maybe download one at a time that you're, worst case scenario, you're like downloading one at a time that you want to play, and then...
Got 300 games to install, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
You better get busy then. You just said winter period's coming, so...
Yeah, tuck in.
And I just installed like 10 new games from Game Pass just last night.
Yikes. All of that stuff sounds really good. I'm genuinely surprised they showed this on this stage. I'm assuming they're just going to go into a deep dive at E3 and say like, look, here's the release date, here's the price, here's the nitty gritty. We've got a bunch of games running on it to show you, but here's like the foundational. Here's the name, here's the capability, here's backwards compatibility. Like we're drawing the lines in the sand.
Yeah.
Here's
the list of things.
Get the tech out the way so that then when E3 rolls around, you've got a sizzle reel.
Yeah, like you know all the bullet points. Here's the games you want to pre-order this thing for. Or like, here's the games that ran on the Xbox One that were enhancing for the Series X. Here is what it's going to look like. And I'm assuming the Lockhart version, as we talked about last week, will probably be the Series S. And then I'm assuming... we've been talking, Moon, especially you've been talking about this for the last couple of months. I sort of feel like with the naming of this console, this is the last time they're going to name something, and it's just like the 2021 version of the Series X, and it's just the new one, and like here's the new model, that's the one you buy. This name specifically seems like Series X seems like we're done naming. Like there's just a new version of this. So... we will see. Following up right after that, the first PS5 game was announced, Godfall, coming out on PS5 and PC, being published by Gearbox Publishing. I believe their publishing wing is now called. Developed by Counterplay Games. They're sort of jokingly calling it a looter slasher. Not a super long trailer. They released a nice looking version of that on YouTube, and looks really great. I mean, a lot of it is. It looks how you would want a next generation game to look. Just looks super sharp.
Everything has in-game footage on the bottom right corner now too.
Yeah, largely in-game footage. Yeah. Nintendo came out with for me, a shockingly surprise announcement for Bravely Default 2, the third Bravely Default game, which is coming to Switch on 2020, and Revo is coming back to do the soundtrack. Thank you. The first game soundtrack is so good. I would really like this to be good because I didn't like Octopath Traveler and I didn't like Bravely Second. So if you want to make a sequel to a game that everybody hated and I really loved, I'm hoping Bravely Default 2 will be good. And it looks really great from the short trailer we got. So keeping the same arts. Part of the reason why I like the Game Awards, I know a lot of people give it flack, rightly so, a lot for like trailer after trailer and commercial after commercial. I really like that Jeff Keighley is just saying like, here's another trailer, and I don't know what it's for. Like, I'm not on YouTube being like, here's the new trailer for Bravely Default 2, and I'm like, well, there's no, like, I still like that there's the element of surprise that we still get on, like at E3, where it's like, brand new game, here it is, whoa, brand new Halo, Gears 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One last thing, here is the Cyberpunk 2077 trailer, and I'm not going to tell you what it's for. Yes.
Yeah. Their first Riot Forge game was announced. This is Riot's like League of Legends spin-off stuff where they're making they're letting other developers make single-player games. It's called Ruined King League of Legends Story. Most important thing for me is it's developed by Airship Syndicate. This is the Battle Chasers, Night War, and Darksiders Genesis guys. So I'm personally interested. They had a lot of lore stuff they were talking about on stage. I don't know about any of that.
Well, it only took you about 5-6 years to get into Fortnite, so give it a couple more years and all of a sudden you'll be into the MOBAs.
I don't hate myself enough to get into League of Legends because I know those people will hate me.
I'm not saying League, dude. I'm also talking about like there's Dota out there, then you've got the Battle Chess.
I played Dota 2 pretty hardcore for a while there.
Yeah. I know auto chess is the hot new thing right now. I don't want... No, thanks. I'm okay. Ori and the Will of the Wisps was delayed to March 11th, 2020. They put out a new trailer.
Thank you, March, again.
Yeah, it still looks really good. Good part about Ori, coming on Game Pass, so you don't have to spend money on it.
Yay.
Ghost of Tsushima, a new fairly lengthy trailer was shown off that looks like samurais cutting each other up. Like I still don't know what you're doing in the game, but it looks really good.
Got a pretty cool Tenchu vibe from it.
Yes, that was what I was thinking the whole time. Where I was like, "Ooh, if you're gonna play this like Tenchu, like that could be pretty good." The release window was announced for summer 2020, so shockingly, not a PS5 game, but probably will get a PS5 enhanced patch later on down the road. They announced Fast and the Furious Crossroads, which I was fairly sure was going to be a mobile game based on the trailer they showed, but it's a $60 console game developed by the Project Cars studio.
For the record, I have not seen this trailer. If there is one company I do not want making a Fast and Furious game, no offense to them,
sure,
it's the Project Cars guys.
Well,
because they make insanely realistic driving games.
How about if a Fast and the Furious racing game, you got to play as Vin Diesel and every car had guns on them?
Oh, so it's Twisted Metal.
Right, but like maybe with a story, and like Michelle Rodriguez is in there. Like
give it to Playground Games. Why is it going to the Super Sim guys?
It's very confusing because like it looks fine, but like coming on the heels of like showing Xbox Series X exclusive games and the new PS5 stuff and like Ghost of Tsushima, it's sort of like this game right now doesn't really hold up to a lot of the other stuff, and a lot of these cars have guns on them, which is, I have not seen a lot of the Fast and Furious movies, but that's not my understanding of what that series has gotten to.
the vehicles that have guns in there are the vehicles from the Fate of the Furious, which is Fast and Furious 8, for the record. And it's the vehicles that are supposed to have guns on them. The tanks.
Sure.
The the APCs. Those are the vehicles that have guns on them.
Right.
Everyone else just drives regular old cars.
Okay. So, very confusing. Did want to call out two things. Reggie's speech about indies was incredible. That dude can still stand on stage and put out a speech. He had a really great speech about everybody in the industry. Like, he called out Iwata and he called out Miyamoto, saying, like, everybody has been an indie developer when they got started with a small game idea that they made, and hopefully they make it big. And, like, indies are the next wave of great, fantastic creators. And then sort of, he had a really great speech about it. Game of the Year award this year went to Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which
Cool, me surprised.
I'm genuinely surprised about, compared to a lot of the other games that were up for awards. And then, yes.
Not to brew the internet's toxicity around again and throw it all over the show.
Sure.
How badly did the Death Stranding fanboys take that one?
I feel like not too badly, because I think most people were sort of like side-eyeing the Game Awards, where it's like, are you going to give your best friend all the awards? Like, how many's your buddy going to get? Like, it felt very much like, you're approving your brother-in-law's construction bid. And it's like, I don't know. So Death Stranding won a couple awards. I think, like, best performance was Mads Mikkelsen in Death Stranding. It's like, yes, sure. Like,
yeah,
why wouldn't you turn that one down? And surprisingly, I guess not surprisingly, Disco Elysium won the most awards. And won 4 total awards. Just well deserved. And I hope that comes out to consoles next year, because I want to play that very badly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Nintendo's Indies Showcase. They showed off a lot of stuff, like rapid fire in a 20-minute trailer. We're not going to cover most of this. They did show off a Sports Story. This is the new game from the Golf Story team / I think it's still just one guy who, like, still no one knows who works at that company. They showed you pretty much playing a bunch of sports on other sports locations. So it looks like they're just kind of continuing the same idea. Coming out mid-2020 only on Switch again. So Nintendo locking down another exclusive there. Streets of Rage 4 got another trailer. Boy, does that look really great. Genuinely looking really great. Their release window was first half of 2020. So check out the next 6 months for that to come out. Yeah. Super Mash got a cool trailer where basically you choose 2 genres, and then the game smushes them into one playable game. And like a lot of roguelikes, it gives you a seed. So basically, if you find a mashup that you really like, because if you mash up like JRPG and platformer, you're not always going to get the same game. It's going to smush together different games time over time.
Yeah, I read a lot on that, and I just want to have JRPG and whatever else on there.
Yeah, like just start
to see what it gives
stuff.
me.
Yeah, it looks really great.
You can get it on Epic Store right now. Has it?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I could. In the article, it brought up that you can get it in Epic Store now, and I looked, and it is there. It's $24 right now.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a sale or not, but
okay, cool. I didn't know that. That's good. Murder by Numbers got a longer trailer. This is the game I've been pimping for a while. It's a combo of Phoenix Wright, the investigation stuff, and when you go do an investigation, you play a Picross board. It looks really, really great. Comes out early 2020. They're saying it's a timed exclusive on Switch with no window for that. Skatebird got another really great trailer. That's coming out late 2020. That game still looks really good. Boyfriend Dungeon got another trailer, which was like this fantastically overwrought, like, explore the dungeon, collect new weapons, and date them. And it's like, yeah, Boyfriend Dungeon is still really good. I still really want to play that game. And lastly, the one more thing of the Indie Showcase, Axiom Verge 2.
Shock of shocks.
Tom Happ says, by the way, thanks for supporting my game. Been working on this for 4 years. Oh, wait, it's Axiom Verge 2. So that's coming out fall 2020. if you want to know what my game of the year next year is going to be. It looks really great. It looks like they've made the game look significantly better than the first one. Looks like it has much more varied sort of palettes and biomes and stuff like that. And they already showed a whole bunch of cool powers, and day one, I'm super excited for that. Next news story: 2 Point Hospital launches on console on February 25th, 2020.
Years makes no difference. March. Great.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Also,
sorry March. Sorry, Sega.
They did have a trailer with that at some point that had the Game Pass logo closing down the trailer. So it hasn't been announced
Interesting.
yet.
Okay.
But one of the trailers does end with the Game Pass logo.
That would be all right.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. I'll probably buy it either way just to support another theme hospital, but that would be nice. Redbox will no longer rent video games starting in 2020.
Shocker.
It seemed to happen very suddenly. I'm sort of surprised because that was a fairly successful platform for them. But
it was, but there is also a whole bunch of illegal activity going on around that too.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze, especially with new consoles coming up. It's like, do we want to go back through, like, you rented Death Stranding and you returned a copy of Muscle of Dogs? It's like, cool, thanks for stealing a $60 game. This is a good time to remind you, most libraries in the States will let you rent games with a library card, so go support your local library. They could use your help, and you can rent games for free. Everybody wins. And lastly, sort of secret press release slipped under the radar this week that Sony's MLB The Show is going multi-platform. People wanted to act like this wasn't a big deal, but it looks like Sony San Diego is still developing it, and it will also be releasing on the Switch and the Xbox One.
I am curious if this is an MLB decision that they were forced to go with, because
probably,
as much as I like Sony isn't like Microsoft saying, yeah, play Minecraft or whatever you want. You want to play it on your phone, the Switch, whatever.
Yeah, we got it everywhere you go. Your toaster, whatever.
Especially like Sony Santa Monica is a first-party, hardcore in-house development, and I can't help but think this was, you put it out multi-platform, or you don't get the license.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, especially with Sony San Diego not being a big Sony studio. I'm not sure how much Sony would want to like throw money around to be like, how's another couple $1 million to kind of seal the deal, you know? So interesting stuff. All right, let's knock out a couple of questions here real quick before we scoot and skedaddle here. T-Bomb Rock says, with Black Mesa, the Valve-sanctioned Half-Life fan remake just getting another update and now almost being finished, started thinking about what are some of your favorite fan-made games, updates, or mods. My personal pick would be AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake.
Honestly, I just like the goofy stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
like the Resident Evil 2 stuff on PC.
Yeah, like the Resident Evil 2
Thomas
stuff on
the Train.
PC.
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage as the dragons in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff is the stuff that I love. Like, I've never been one for modern games because, number one, I don't come from a PC player background. I come from a console player. So just give me all the goofiness. Like,
yeah.
Like, give me the stupid stuff, and I will love it all.
I mostly like the fan translations. Like, someone just released today a translation for the Saturn game Sakura Wars, which is like this foundationally important JRPG. And it's like that. This team of like volunteer developers probably spent the last couple of years doing it, and it's going to go completely under the radar, fairly enough, even on this show. But like, I think that's the stuff that's really important. Where it's like we took this game and broke it on a foundational level just to translate it and sew it back together, and somehow it works. It's like, you guys are wizards. That's incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a lot of the Skyrim mods. They had airships in there for a
Clean
while.
faces or dirty faces?
I don't care. They also had Final Fantasy weapons in there, so you could run around with Cloud's Buster Sword. You could have Squall's Gunblade.
Yeah.
Just when they throw other game elements into games just to make it stupid.
And then, like, they fix the game, too, where it's like, hey, there was a memory leak when you owned your own house. We just fixed it. It's like $200K, you just drag this file in there.
There was a mod, because back when Skyrim first came out, dragons would fly backwards. And I guess that was a symptom of a different issue with the game.
Right.
And apparently there is a mod that fixes the original bad issue, but still lets dragons fly backwards.
Oh, that's really good.
Great.
That's great. Angel Eye in Discord says, I just watched a video on the next consoles, and I'm getting the feeling that I don't need to get the new Xbox right away again, as their exclusive games will most likely be on PC too. What is your opinion on this? If you weren't doing a podcast where you felt the need for both immediately, which would you prioritize and why?
I can take this one nice and easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like we need these new consoles at all right now.
Sure.
In general, I don't feel like it is a vital urgency for any of us to upgrade to it, because what are the jumps going to be? We'll see when it comes out, I'm sure, but right now, I'm just like, sure. It might
Other
be
than
good.
load times, because both Microsoft and Sony are like pushing these NVMe SSDs where it's like, you know, instead of minutes, it's seconds. It's like, we'll see that once it gets in the wild, of course. And
no, it won't be.
maybe that'll be like as significant as an upgrade as they're selling it, but like there has to be other stuff too.
I mean, if I'm going to prioritize as well, I'm going to go the same way I always go, which is I'm going to get the new Xbox.
Right.
I'm going to do that because my PC is good, not great.
Well, and you're already invested from a digital standpoint in the ecosystem pretty heavily.
Deep in that ecosystem.
Well, and especially with backwards compatibility being so strong, like we talked about carrying into the Series X, like, why wouldn't you buy the new Xbox when you have, if you were going to buy a new box, why wouldn't you buy the Series X when you have like 300 games you still need to play that can carry over and potentially be in an optimized state? Like, that just, it seems like a no-brainer to kind of keep the through line on the ecosystem there. But I think
this household is an Xbox household.
Right. I think Angel Eye has a really good point, though, with Microsoft continuing to push, especially their first-party stuff on PC, and especially with PC with Game Pass. If you have a good PC already, I'm sure there's some benefits that we don't know of for the Series X, but it seems like, hey man, you want to play the next Gears, you want to play Halo Infinite, like, if that comes out on PC and you already have a great one, just do that. Like, I don't know if it's coming out on PC Game Pass, but the point sort of stands.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, I've been slowly upgrading my PC just in general. I've never been big on PC gaming at all, but I would go that route right now. I'm not even worried about consoles because I'm never the person who buys consoles when they first come out anyway.
Right.
Because there's been too many horror stories of people being, first in line and then it's broke within a month because we didn't test this
like
or whatever.
PS3.
Yeah. And I don't have any brand loyalty either. I like my PlayStation. I play it more than my Xbox, but I like my Xbox as well.
Right.
I could care less though if Sony swings and misses on their announcements. No sweat off my back. I just won't buy their product for a while.
Right. For me, even if I wasn't doing the show, I would still be buying both of the new boxes just because I like the new technology. And especially on the Xbox side, since I have a launch Xbox One, buying the Series X is going to be such a fundamentally huge leap that, like, I can't even do HDR or 4K. Like, it's going to be such a giant leap that it makes it a no-brainer to buy the Series X. And then on the PlayStation side, I'm already well into that ecosystem for this generation, that buying that platform, we still don't know their full backwards compatibility plans. There's been some talking and some interviews and stuff, but no like formal stuff. But if they go the same route, if the PS5 supports the vast majority of PS4 games, that makes it a no-brainer for me as well, especially since I have trouble playing discs on my PS4. So,
Yep.
you know, to me, I like the new tech. I like being the early adopter. I don't like getting a broken console, but like I like plugging in this new box into my TV, especially now that I have like a 4K HDR thing and getting all the new fancy bells and whistles. So I'll be buying both day and date. Probably pre-ordering them during E3 because I'm assuming that's when pre-orders can open. So yeah, it will be an interesting 2020.
Your credit card company says thank you.
Yes, yeah, they say thank you for a lot. Jimbo Jangle sends us an email, says, hey there, TVGP, Jimbo Jangles here. I was going down some rabbit holes on YouTube and ended up watching a 30-minute documentary on a Kanye West RPG released on phones in 2013 that may have been linked to an occult. What? It was bonkers. That news story apparently just passed me up 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That does sound bonkers. So that brings me to a question for the crew this week. What are some of the craziest video game stories/rumors you've come across in all your years of gaming? Have a great show, guys.
I have one answer for this.
Okay.
Please go and see the career of Mr. Randy Pitchford.
How is he successful?
Take your moment from any one of those moments.
I feel like the last one that was still really confusing and like maybe true and maybe not true is like Missing No from Pokemon, where it's like, did that really happen? Or like, did someone make this in Photoshop? Like, is it a real thing? Like, how is it repeatable? That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of anything recent. A lot of stuff is just like, this bug happened in this game and someone put it on Twitter, or like someone made a very convincing Photoshop from like a parody account on Twitter, and it just...
There was the episode of South Park being on a gold disc for one of the... I think it was one of the Tiger Woods games.
It was one of the first Tiger Woods game, like 95 or something. Yeah. The pilot episode of South Park, the like Santa versus Jesus, whatever that episode was, yeah. That was like a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the hot coffee crap from GTA.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Even though it wasn't really in the game in a way that you could get to, like that was a big kerfuffle.
Or what was Beyond Two Souls? Was that Ellen Page where they had like the fake nude scans or whatever?
Yeah, her contractual issues. Yeah, that was gross. Yeah.
Was it Pitchford or was it the Valve guy who complained about? I think it might have been Randy Pitchford.
Probably. I don't know what you're going to talk about.
No,
probably.
not Randy Pitchford. The guy who started the BioShock games.
Ken Levine?
Yes. When people did some source filmmaker things with the people from BioShock and him just shining a nice bright public flashlight on the thing he didn't want anybody to know about or do.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I cannot talk about it on the show because it's not age appropriate for any younger listeners.
Sure. Speaking of mods, there was a Half-Life 2 mod that was trying to make like realistic characters in the game, character models.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they started with Alex, if you can guess where this mod is going to go.
Uh-huh.
And then drastically increased her polygon count, but also accurately modeled the insides.
Okay.
And people were like, cool, that's really gross. Why would you go and make this thing?
Because they're going to use that tech for The Last of Us Part 2.
There you go. No, that was just a fan mod one for Half-Life 2. Yeah, stop being gross, fellow man. If there's one parting message I can tell you for 2019, stop being gross. T-Bomb Rocks, just like two more questions here. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, with Xbox Series X being announced as fully backwards compatible on games and peripherals, and Sony starting to backpedal on even some PS4 games not being BC, it has me wondering. There's been like some mistranslations there, so like I'm waiting for
We'll
a
see.
press release to come out where they're like, this is what we are or aren't doing. Do you think BC will be a bigger factor for next generation than current?
100%.
100%. And I think we've been
we
talking
used
about
to-
this.
We used to accept it as a given. We
Sure.
used to accept that a console generational jump would mean that we would not
It's a
have
hard
access
cut.
to play, or maybe still play, but most of the games that we had would be stuck on that generation of consoles.
Yep. And I think we've been talking for the last couple of weeks about the free-to-play, battle pass, battle royale, games as a service games, and the expectation therein of, if the Xbox Series X launched without backwards compatibility and it didn't launch with Minecraft, what are you doing? There's sort of an expectation there, and if there wasn't backwards compatibility and Fortnite didn't launch with it, what are you doing? There's a level of expectation there that I want to download Fortnite, I want to download Apex. You obviously would like Dead by Daylight, but that's not a higher priority. It's not a high priority for smaller teams, but there's sort of an expectation here nowadays, and I think that's really great because I would love to unplug both of my consoles, put them up here in this room, and only use 3 consoles down there, including the Switch, like I have been, and not have 5 boxes underneath and 17 controllers that I'm tripping over. That would not be... My preference would be supporting BC on this probably $600 box I'm going to buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever. I still have my PS3 and my 360 out in the living room.
Yeah. I don't have that, unfortunately.
I literally sold all of my stuff except for my 360.
Right.
So I have 3 wallets of games, no cases, just the games. I know it's a sin. You don't have to tell me.
You moved across an
country.
ocean. Yeah. It said, I finally picked back up playing my friend Pedro, and it's a blast to play. Game reminds me of that being fun to play is one of the most important factors in game. My question for you is, what game did you have the most fun playing this year?
Dead by Daylight.
The most fun playing?
While you guys think about it, the reason I loved playing Dead by Daylight and had fun playing it is because it's fun playing it with A, newbies, and B, people who are giant chickens. Because hearing people scream as a killer comes around the corner and they don't expect it is hilarious. And it's fun being shocked yourself when it happens to you too.
Maybe Void Bastards? Just where it's this is fun to play. There's not a lot of chaff in between me and the fun part.
I think for me it would have to be Elite, just because I went from not playing it to having 300 hours into it.
And a hotel setup.
Yeah, and a HOTAS, and yeah.
The aforementioned apps on your phone. Yeah. All right,
make it sound like a problem at this point.
No, I don't think it's a problem. I run a Destiny website.
I was about to say,
so
someone who's made a Destiny fan site.
DestinyEmblemCollector.com. Last question here is an email from Slick Nick. Good morning, fellas. Wanted to write back about the Xbox email insert a couple weeks ago. I was still on the fence about getting one. It just so happened the week of Thanksgiving, my company gave everyone a bonus based on the stocks of the company. It was a total surprise because I had no idea that was coming. It was an extra $1,000 that was my check. Hell yeah.
Good job, you. Good job.
I thought they did something wrong with my deposit and it was an error. That would be me too. Where it's you gave me too much money? So I was able to get the Xbox because of that. I got the Xbox One X and 6 UHD movies on Black Friday. The movies are the John Wick trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy.
That's some really great movies for UHD.
I feel like that's a really great starter pack. The one awesome thing to use now that I have it is Game Pass. So overwhelmed by the games to play. First one was Forza. Yeah.
Welcome.
The first one was Forza, and it looks amazing. Other games I'm playing is Creature in the Well, Slay the Spire, State of Decay 2, and many others. I feel like he just listed the best selection from indies to big games on Game Pass. Go play Gears 5. That looks really good. Got Destiny 2 on Xbox, and the cross-save is great. It just works. The only thing that is a detriment is the purchases don't carry over. I got Shadowkeep for PlayStation and cannot play it on Xbox. It's hard to buy the same thing twice. I'll hit you up, Austin, to run through the content. I will have 5 days off next weekend. Number one, I have that on everything, so people, if you want to play Destiny 2, I will, because I am, always. And the other thing, I think that's the thing that I hope is going to change in this next generation, is like those cross-platform entitlements between... Because like for Bungie, how it does it, like Shadowkeep, you have to buy it per platform, but the seasons, those are cross-platform. Because you're not like downloading a piece of content from the respective stores. I'd like to see that getting resolved, because like, I'd love cross progression in Apex Legends, because I'd like to play that on anything. I'm assuming that's going to get to that point, but it'd be really great for some of this stuff if you can just go between platforms.
I'd like to think Apex would, but it's also EA, so it won't.
Yeah. EA has always been stubborn. Thanks again for letting me ramble on the podcast. Look forward to it every Monday starting work. Loyal listener, Nick. Thank you for writing in for catching up, because I was curious how that was going to shake down. It's been interesting. We had talking about a lot in our Discord server about like, hey, with the Series X coming up, when is the best time to buy an Xbox One X? Like, do we buy it now? Do we buy it holiday 2020? Do we buy it 2 months after, when people are offloading their old consoles and you can buy them for cheap? Like, it's been really interesting to try and figure out, when can I get the previous generation for really cheap because they never dove in? Or should they just buy the new console, get the new one, and then have all the BC stuff? It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new world of trying to figure out how and when to buy a new console. It's interesting. Fun year we have up ahead of us.
Yep.
But that's our episode. That's for this week, and our last episode for 2019. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Reminder, we have our 2 end-of-the-year episodes coming up the next 2 weeks. We will be on vacation, but you will still get your podcasts, and hopefully you enjoy them. I think they both turned out very well. They are both very long, so you're not just going to get like a 30-minute episode coming out. They are lengthy, so get ready. If you're visiting relatives and you want to ignore them, we will have a lot of podcasts coming for you to help you out on that. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. Go sign up for that. TVGP.tv, find and follow us. The merch store. There's a new episode of All Dog New Flicks coming out at the end of the month. I think that's it. We've been recording too much. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah, we'll see you all next year.
That too. Both next week and next year.
We can be 2 places in once.
Quantum
mechanics. Dr.
mechanics.
Manhattan.
That's right. That's right. All right, Nimp, hit me with your titles.
I've only got a couple because my brain shut off halfway
We all
through.
Ditto. We're all. You can see the light having gone out from behind our eyes.
First one is Mirage needs to shut up. 2020's goal, get good with the nurse. I thought it would be lame. She is going to love honking. And last podcast of 2019.
She's going to love honking. All right, Moon, how about you?
Wise talking smart mouth. Everything dies. A Metroid game. I'm free. Candlestick maker. Keep thee away from me, Satan. Someone with man hands. Aforementioned apps.
Pretty good. I have Don't Save the Starfish, which is one I really like. Please Don't Tell Me You Build the Town, which is like a touch too long, but really good. Mirage needs to shut up, and she's going to love honking. I really love Don't Save the Starfish.
Why did you say that? I remember you saying it, but I don't remember
Don't
why.
Save the Starfish.
It was
Stay
about
for the
being
show.
a patron.
That's right.
I also like She's Gonna Love Honking.
I was going to say don't save the sharks, but I actually want people to save the sharks.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The dumbest thing I could think of was Starfish.
Yeah. You guys feel strongly about anything?
Both Starfish and Honking both are about the same to me, which is to say, it's like 6 hours in to
My
recording.
leader is don't save the Starfish. That would be my vote.
That
Okay.
works.
No dissents? All right, circling.
No.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
I got nothing, so I'm completely ready.
Yeah.
I like the attitude. I'm not ready at all, so let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's start in 3, 2, 1. This is the That Video Game Podcast, episode 634 for December 16th, 2019. Don't save the Starfish.
They don't need your money.
See you guys next year.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This week, every week, this entire year, the last 12 years, we haven't been live streaming the last 12 years. Justin TV wasn't around 12 years ago. But we appreciate it nonetheless.
That's what Twitch came from, wasn't it?
That's right. The dude with the
man,
camera on his
so
head living
old.
24/7 on the internet. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We will see you all next week. We hope everybody has a good holiday break. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Goodbye. We're tired.